Okay, I'm live. I'm here. I'm going to let everyone know. Oh my God, did I leave my phone somewhere? I didn't bring my phone for the live show. Stay right there. I'm coming back. No one's here, but don't go anywhere. Because we're going to need this if we want to tell people that we've gone live. Always thinking, Okay, good. No one actually saw that, so that's great. We're going to tweet, we're going to Instagram, and we're going to drink, and then we're going to review potentially every book I've read this year. That's 97. So there's that. I've got my Taylor Swift glass going on, which is from Crew Avenue. So look up her shop on Instagram. She makes very cute Swifty merch. Okay. Retweet. Live now. Come join the chaos. It's going to be very organized chaos, though. Definitely not that chaotic. I feel like weirdly prepared for this. I did film some wrap-ups that just never saw the light of day. So, okay, that's me advertising this. Let's rock and roll, buckaroos. Sometimes I don't know why I talk like this either. It's just what words come out of my mouth. I don't know if I like that picture, but we're just gonna do that anyways. What was I saying? Oh, Sarah's in support of this, and so is Mary Margaret. So they better be here because they said that they're very supportive of my choice to drink while doing this. Which I think that's just like a live show tradition for me, honestly. Gotta come armed with something. Somebody's here. Hi, person. I'm like waiting for people to show up because I like, knowing me, I'll just start reviewing books and then I'll be like 4 books in and then no one will have heard any of it. So like hopefully a few people care, and the people who want to watch this in the future can just skip past a lot of this nonsense. I also need to open a tab where I can see the video. There we go. Julia, you're doing amazing, sweetie. Okay. Cool. What should we do while we wait for people? Let's do some stats. I have read 97 books this year. We're going to see how far I can make it. I think I started to say this and then got distracted by myself. I filmed some wrap-ups like through April and then just never spoke about books again. So like it's going to be very interesting to see what still has like a space in my brain versus what I've entirely forgotten about. I think a good rule of thumb is I'm going to try to say like what I rated them and whether I still have them or if I unhauled them, and then also just like general thoughts. So those are kind of the 3 things on the checklist. I'm trying to get this list better organized because I'm looking at my Goodreads goal, but then I have to click every single one to see my rating, and no one wants that. So let's scroll, I guess, through my books. That doesn't seem very helpful either, but I guess that's the only way to do it. Helen is here. Hi, Helen. You're the only person here, so it means a lot. I know you won't be the only person here, but I'm trying to get my list ready. I'm almost there. I'm in January. We're getting there. Okay. Let's do it. Actually, I still wish I could see my ratings better. I'm just gonna have to right click on every single book in this. So it is what it is. Okay, let's talk books. So the very first book that I finished in 2021 was My Lady's Choosing, and it's by Kitty Curran and Larissa Zagaris, and I do still own this. Should I be grabbing these books as I talk about them, or is that going to kill too much time? How easily accessible is it? I'm going to grab them because you want to see books. People like books. So this is a choose your own adventure historical romance. So iconic, to say the least. I should have planned an actual matching outfit now that I know people will be able to see my pants, but oh well. Helen is just here for her 5-minute break, but Helen, I love you anyways for being here, so thank you. So I read this. It was good. I had a great time with this. I gave it 4.6 stars, and it's so fun. Like, there are so many different love interests, and I thought initially that it was like just these like couple archetypes, like, oh, the Scottish Highlander and the kind of brooding Byronic hero and like the classic sort of like stiff Mr. Darcy type. But no, there's so many like minor people you can romance. You can romance a lady in one path, so really fun. There's just like 4 main people, and then like 2 of my favorite endings were like totally minor characters, and I was like, you're the cutest, I love you. I wish we had like giant chapters. So yeah, highly recommend that. Great time. I love a choose your own adventure book. After that, I finished The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas. Do not still have that. So that was one of our Past It Classics books. I think it was actually our December book last year, but I finished it at the beginning of January, and it was a time. I gave it 2.8 stars. My Goodreads review just only says, Alexa, play The Man by Taylor Swift, and I stand by that. I feel bad for Milady. Like, she does some very questionable things, but I feel bad for her, you know? Like, I shouldn't spoil. I shouldn't spoil it, so I won't say why I feel bad for her. But she's a very interesting character. And if you want to hear my full thoughts on The Three Musketeers, you can just go watch our Past It Classics live show for it. I think Taylor was the host that month, so Page Screen Taylor. Then I read A Galley, so I don't own this physically, but I read She's Too Pretty to Burn by Wendy Hurd, and I think this actually came out in like March, so I can't show you a cover. And this was like, it was marketed as a Dorian Gray retelling, and that's like vaguely true, but very loose, like inspired, Dorian Gray inspired. And it's a YA thriller. The thriller parts, like when it was really thrilling towards the end, those were the best parts of the book. But like the romance plot line, it has a female romance, and like the more day-to-day stuff, I was not vibing with. But like later, it had me on the edge of my seat. So yeah, I ended up giving it 3.6 stars. Who is talking to me? It's Emma. Okay. She's texting me about a book that we're not going to talk about because I read it like last month. So we'll get there eventually. So it was interesting. And the ending was like, whoa, okay. So that was a time. But wasn't good enough to make me go out and buy it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Next in January, was My Contrary Mary by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. I guess let's go fetch it because I've set up this precedent and now I have to grab every book that I talk about. Okay, we're going to put you away. Maybe I should just leave the door open. Ugh. Okay, put you away. Get you out. Here we go. Okay, My Contrary Mary. This series is so good. I still haven't read My Calamity Jane because I'm a buffoon. sitting there staring at me like Jane is staring me down like, you gonna read me or what? I think this is my favorite Lady Janie's book so far. I gave it 4.8 stars. Like, it was almost perfect. I started rewatching Rain because of this, and then I dragged Sarah into it, and then I failed her because I'm busy, and then we stopped. So, Sarah, if you're rewatching this later, we should get back on that. I'll message you. So good. I love it. I don't have deep thoughts. These books are really funny. These books are really clever. If you read My Lady Jane, obviously there's some references because it's like the same time period, and it was just so good. And Naina's here. Naina, I thought you weren't going to be here. Why are you here? Don't get me wrong. I love when you surprise me, but I forgot I can do this. I didn't put any of Helen's comments up. Hi. So that's my Contrary Mary. Definitely recommend. And then I read, oh my gosh, The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. Another book that I have the sequel for somewhere, so spoilers. Okay, well, this book was a little, wait. Nana, I had been waiting for an hour and somehow didn't see the notification of you going live. No, I literally just started. I was like an hour later than I said I was going to be. You can't trust me. Can't trust me. Okay, let me grab The Silence of the Girls. Don't look at my pants. I just wore sweatpants. I didn't plan to be showing my legs, okay? I'm in the comfort of my own home. There she is. One of the prettiest books I own, for sure. Look at that. Ooh, okay. So I like this. It just also kind of disappointed me a little bit. So like I gave it 3.6 stars. I really like what it was trying to accomplish, but I feel like points of view changed so much that it actually like wasn't fully Briseis's story, and I was here for Briseis because that's my girl. So like it was very well written. Like it hurt me. But I don't know. I just felt like if they were going to occasionally like tell parts of the story that Briseis wasn't there to witness, it should have just been still her as the narrator, but saying like, I was later told that so-and-so said blah, 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 blah. Like there's ways you can go around it if Briseis wasn't there. Like she can learn what happened, you know? So not like my absolute favorite, but I just wanted to keep it because it's so pretty. And I did like it overall. And I bought the next book. So like clearly I'm not that mad at it. So that's The Silence of the Girls. Oh my God. Next was The Children's Hour by Lillian Hellman. Okay. That was another another Past It Classics book. I know, cover's so pretty. So pretty. If I can easily reach the second book, I will show you that cover too, but honestly, I don't really see it, so maybe no. So The Children's Hour is a play. It's about two women who run a school for girls, and then a rumor is started by one of their students who's a little brat. You know I love children, so clearly this child has issues if I'm calling her a brat. And yeah, it doesn't end great, but so I gave it 3.2 stars. It was a really good conversation we had. So Kara hosted that. So go to Wild Book Garden and you can learn more of our thoughts. But I'm glad I read it, but like it didn't change my life or anything. I would like to do the play if it ever comes to a theater near me. So sign me up. I'll be at that audition for sure. But I did unhaul that one. So there you have it. Okay, the next one I don't own because I listened to it on audio, and it was Destiny's Surrender by Beverly Jenkins. So this is a historical romance, and I felt lied to by the synopsis. So I thought that it was more like a second chance romance of like this couple was together and then they split up and then she had his baby and then she like showed up on his doorstep being like, I can't take care of our baby. I'm leaving him with you. But actually, our heroine Billy was like a lady of the night, if you will. And I mean, she still had his baby, but like they weren't like broken up like this big length of time in between. It was just like his family wanted him to get married, and that's kind of why he stopped seeing her. But I liked Billy. I remember there being some plot points where I'm like, you go, girl. And oh, okay. I wrote this in my Goodreads review, but I forgot about this. I really want the main guy's mom to have her own book because she was like a widow and there was this guy who was like courting her and they were so sweet. So, you know, if Beverly Jenkins ever writes a book about Alonza, sign me up. And I don't have any intention of reading the first book in the series. This is the second one. I don't pick up romances based on like series. I pick them up based on like the specific tropes in that book. And then if I like it, I consider moving forward or backward in the series. So this one I picked obviously because I was like, a baby, ooh. But I don't really care about the older brother. He seemed kind of a little bit like a jerk. And obviously I know who he ended up with and everything. So like that's boring, but I think I will read the third book about the youngest brother because I might be making this up. He's like a sailor. And I think like a pirate lady steals his ship and kidnaps him. And then they fall in love. So I was like, okay, I'm listening. Plus we didn't meet that brother in the second book. So he's more intriguing. And exactly. Give me the mom book, the middle-aged mother of her 3 adult sons. It'd be so cute. I love it. They were very sweet. Okay, that's Destiny's Surrender. What did I actually rate it? 3.5 stars, 3.6. So again, good. Good enough that I enjoyed it. Not good enough that I just like went out and bought it willy-nilly. Okay, then I read King John by William Shakespeare. Okay. You know that I own it, but I'm not going to get it because my Folgers are stacked upwards and no one has the time or the energy for that. I liked King John fine. I'm trying to remember anything about King John. Sarah's here. Hi. Okay, King John. Okay, yes. So this is the one with Constance. And my review just says, like, I feel like to play Constance would be akin to playing Ophelia. And I want that because she's, like, grief-stricken and has really good monologues. But overall, history plays are all one long play in my mind. I can differentiate the 3 Henry VI plays from everything else because that is the period that I know the most about now, having also read about the Woodvilles so much. But everyone else, it's a blur. So King John was fine. I gave it 3.6 stars. I liked Constance. And me reading Shakespeare? Who is she? I don't know. Okay, next. Wow, I don't even have to get up to reach this one. Yes. Are we still in January? Yes, we are. Wow, I read so much in January. Go me. Okay, then let me get rid of Nana's comment. Bye. I buddy read A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. I read this with Mary Margaret, and it was a life-changing and bizarre and also somehow like a little forgettable, but not also. I don't know how to make it make sense. So I gave this book 3.8 stars. I think my Goodreads review really says it all because I said, I'm sure if I was living when this book was published, I would have given it 5 stars. But there are just some things that like, they aged badly. They aged real badly. But I love a character-focused novel. This book follows Francie literally from before she was born. Like, it talks about her parents meeting, and I love that crap. I love it so much. I was like, tell me your entire life. I'm listening. And it follows her up to like early adulthood, like maybe 18 or maybe early 20s. I forget exactly. And Francie as a main character, so good. I adore her. It's very slice of life, lots of family drama, some questionable language given the time period. It was published in like the early 40s, I think. However, a good story if you're into a character-driven moment. So, put it back without ruining everything. Can I do it? Wow, look at that. That's my back. Okay. Oh no, I'm messing everything up. Okay, we're doing great. I'm toasty. I thought it was going to be cold, and yet I'm warm. Okay, what's next? Did I say 3.8 stars? I gave it 3.8 stars. Now we had another Shakespeare play because King John was supposed to be last December's play, and I blew it. For January of this year, I read The Merchant of Venice. Uh-oh. So, like, The Merchant of Venice is one that I had read previously. I read it in college. Goodreads doesn't want to load. Goodreads, please. Okay, thank you. And whoa, scrolled way too far. Again, I gave it 3.6 stars. Again, like A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, there's parts of it that just did not stand the test of time. Ooh-wee. Shylock, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I remember in college, probably just because I was like a young woman and I was like, who could I play? I was like, I'm into this Jessica character. And then reading the play, I was like, Jessica, you're mean. You're so mean to your dad. God, like, he's out here just doing his job, doing his best. Ugh. But, you know, even though like Portia low-key ruins his life, she's a good character. I do like Portia. Not his best comedy, but thank you for trying Shakespeare. I still enjoy it. Some really good lines. There's always some really good lines, you know? Okay, also in January, I read a book called Invisible Things by Jenny Davidson. We're not picking this one up off the shelf. Oh, no, no. So this is a sequel to a very little known YA book called The Explosionist, which I think I did end up unhauling. Yes, I did. And it's like an alternate historical fiction where Napoleon had won the Battle of Waterloo, so things change in Europe. I think Sophie is Scottish. Did I make that up? And then I liked the first book because, I mean, one, there's like representation because Sophie, what's the actual thing with her legs? Like, she walks with like braces. I can't remember the reason, but like, I liked that. And it was so like effortlessly just like dropped. Like, it wasn't like, this is my personality, but it was just like a huge part of her life and casual about it, you know? So like, I loved that. I'm still talking about the first book. And I loved that it had a mix of like science and like, I guess vaguely sci-fi elements, but also maybe dystopian, dare I say? I don't know. And then also things that were like psychics and like a seance. And I was like, wow, that's like fun to juxtapose those two. So first book, super fun. Great. Bought the second book, most hideous cover in the world. It's just like a girl's face this big with like red lipstick. No indication of what the book is about at all. It wasn't not good. It was so boring. This book didn't have chapter breaks. Books that don't have chapter breaks, you're dead to me. Literally. Every book should have chapters. Why are we too good for chapters? I hate it. I gave it 2.2 stars. The only good thing about this book was, Is it a spoiler to... No one's going to read this. The only good part of this book was the villain. Her name was Elsa Blix. I wrote that in my review. Otherwise, I would not have remembered that her name was Elsa Blix. But it, like, picture if, like, the Snow Queen was merged with, what's her character? Emma Frost from X-Men, but portrayed by Elizabeth Debicki. That is Elsa Blix. She was the coolest. She was a baddie, okay? Like, I really liked Elsa. I was like, I don't agree with what you're doing, but all the cool points, you know? But, I mean, let me just read my review at this point. I wrote, this book was like a fever dream. Nothing had any meaning. All foreshadowing was moot. Pacing was non-existent. So, there's that. Also, there was this weird ongoing plot line about this, like, stray cat. And it's fine. I like cats. But everything was all about this cat. And I'm like, this cat has nothing to do with what we're doing. Can we shut up about the cat for, like, 5 minutes? So that's Invisible Things by Jenny Davidson. Okay, good thing we left this open, because next we have... my last book of January, The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I did own this, but I did listen to it as audiobook, and I kept it. Wait. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. And I kept it, so that's great. I rated this book highly. I gave it 4.6 stars. I'm one of those dark academia hoes. I really like it. It's just fun. I love, like, a friend group who you feel like, I love these people, but I could murder any one of them at any given moment, and no one should question that. Like, it's just a fun dynamic to me. I enjoy it. I'm like, how much do I want to be annoying? I definitely was problematically shipping things in this book. Oh, look, paint from preschool. Lulu's here. Hi. The Secret History was so long ago for me. I sometimes feel like it was a fever dream. I think it is a fever dream, honestly. Like, that's fair to say. But this is a good fever dream. Like, it's a fever dream, and you're like, did that happen? Wow, what a tale, you know? Like, I liked it. 4.6. I will eventually read more Donna Tartt. However, I don't know what's going to be for me. I think I'm going to go for the Goldfinch, probably. We shall see. Okay, there's that. Next, let's move on to February. 1 month done. That wasn't the worst. Okay. The first book I read in February of 2021 was The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I did not purchase it. I gave it 3.8 stars. Okay, yeah, this book, mostly forgettable. I had to just, like, glance at my Goodreads review to be like, do I have thoughts on this? So I liked Kelsey a lot. Kelsey was, like, our main character, and she was cool. We love, like, a literal and figurative fat queen in fantasy. Like, let the girl be curvy, my God. So loved her. And her uncle was the worst. Like, he was awful to read about. I hated having to read about him, but, like, as a villain figure of the story, very successful in how terrible he was. That man sucks. I don't know if I'm going to continue this series. Maybe one day. That would depend on how much I can actually remember about it. But it was fine. 3.8. That's very passable, you know? Oh, God. Okay, then I read Swimming Lessons. Why is this making me cough? By Lily Reinhardt. I don't I'm always trying, not always, like once a year, I try to read modern poetry and be like, this time I'll like it. I never like it. I never like modern poetry. I, Lily put her whole heart into that collection. I feel like she has potential as a writer. Like there were some turns of phrase that were like nice. Yeah, I think Sarah really said it all. But she just kind of has to hone it, I gave it 3 stars. I want to know who hurt her. Like, are these poems about Cole Sprouse? Are you okay, Lily? Yes, it is the Riverdale girl. It's Betty Cooper. That's really probably why I read it, because I stopped watching Riverdale. I need to start it again, because now that I know that I can have Betty and Archie, I'm back on board. There was too much Archie and Veronica, and it was pissing me off, and so I had to leave. But I could be back on board now. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at is Betty Cooper's my girl. So I did it to support Betty. But yeah, got it from the library. So no harm, no foul. 3 stars. Bye, swimming lessons. Okay. Then I listened to His Only Wife by, don't mess up her name, Peace Adjo Medier, I think, which was pretty good overall. Important question. Important question. Was the poetry better or worse than Riverdale? In terms of word choice, pretty equal. In terms of my I don't want to say, like, I didn't have to suspend my disbelief to read Swimming Lessons. I think her writing was better than the Riverdale writer's writing, but that doesn't say much, does it? Okay, so His Only Wife is like is it contemporary or was it like in the 90s? It's set in, don't mess it up, Nigeria? Ghana. Damn it. Set in Ghana. And it's about a woman who is in an arranged marriage. And the reason I read this was because I was like, this reminds me of, stay with me. Where are you? Stay with me. Now I can't say her name either. Ayobami Adebayo. There we go. And I love Stay With Me. So I was like, yes, let's do it. This book was still good. I gave it 4 stars. It hurt me, but it took a long time to get to the hurt. It felt like very slice of life, and overall, like not a lot happened. But really, it was like an arranged marriage because the man's family was like, hey, we hate his baby mama. We want him to stop dating her. So maybe if he marries you, he'll like cut her out of her life. And it doesn't work. So it hurts. Overall, it was good. It didn't like super bore me. I remember vividly listening to it while I was shoveling our really long driveway when I was living with Katie. So that was a time to be alive. Okay, yeah, it was just 4 stars. It was good, passably good. Then I read The Martian by Andy Weir. This was passably okay, in my opinion. I think it's overhyped. I think the movie was more successful, honestly. I gave it 3.4 stars. Did I unhaul it? I'm sure I unhauled it. I unhauled it. So, like, it's just so much math. Like, I know he's an astronaut, and astronauts do have to do a lot of math, but you don't have to tell me the math. Like, say I solved the equation to figure out how long it would take me to get there. And, like, I believe you. I'm not going to question if you did the math right. I'm not going to write a proof for it, okay? The parts with people interacting were more interesting. So, like, I didn't like the main character because he was all by himself and I was bored of him. I really liked Who Are the Two crewmates who had their little relationship. They were so cute. Johansson and somebody. Loved them. I want a book about them. I don't care about Mark. And I have seen the movie, and the movie is good. So that's all. Okay, are we done with that? Oh my God, Nana. Too much math definitely means subtracting a star. You're right. You're absolutely right. So that's The Martian. Okay. We're doing great. I feel like I'm zooming. Does this feel like it's dragging? I feel like I'm talking more succinctly than I ever have, mostly because it's been so long since I read these. I have forgotten some stuff. Okay, then I read Henry IV, Part 1 by William Shakespeare. Oh, wow. Whoa. I gave it 4.4 stars. I was about to say I feel neutral to this one. I think I liked it. I liked the Hotspurs. That's all my review says. I said they mean everything to me. Okay, clearly I have to reread this one. I remember I like Part 1 more than Part 2. We'll get to that shortly. Okay, I guess I like Henry IV. Maybe not as much as Henry VI, but not bad for the history plays. Okay, great. Oh my God. Then I read The Humans by Matt Haig. Not because I ever intended to read any Matt Haig, but because one day when I went to tutoring, their mom was like, you have to borrow this book. I know you like to read. And I'm like, thanks. So, like, don't you know I'm deathly afraid of creepy aliens? The Humans is about an alien who, like, his alien species is like very intelligent, and they're like, humans are dumb, and we have to make sure they don't get enough information that they could just like ruin everything. So when this mathematician on Earth like discovers some math law, ew, again with the math. Why was February so mathy? He was like, okay, they've sent me here to take over his body, destroy any sense of like anyone who might have known he figured this out, like eliminate all the knowledge. But then, you know, he reads Emily Dickinson, and he experiences love, and he learns to appreciate humanity, and all that is well and good and fine. But I can tell you without reading my Goodreads review exactly what my Goodreads review says, because it's the truth. Did this book do anything that The Host by Stephenie Meyer didn't do? No. And that book is great. So if you are thinking about reading The Humans, read The Host by Stephenie Meyer. But yeah, I'm so freaked out by aliens. Any story in which aliens are like the antagonists, Marty, I'm scared. I don't like it. So that's that. Oh, did I tell you my rating? I think 3.5 stars. I gotta open the tab again now. 3.8 stars. That's generous. Come on, that's good. Helen said, it's so hard when non-book people recommend me a book and I know I don't want to read it. I know, because I'm like, you're going to ask me about it because you know I like to read, but you're assuming I don't have these waiting to be read. Like, I have an entire library. I don't need one of your books unless I specifically ask for it. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Next, another Past It Classics book. We have East of Eden by John Steinbeck, which I did keep. Do I need to pull it out? I feel like I don't need to pull it out. I did keep it, even though it is divisive. This live show was on my channel, so you can watch it if you want some really in-depth thoughts, because we had feelings. I gave it 3.6 out of 5 stars. And I think my review says it all. I said, this is the kind of book that I didn't love, but that I can tell is going to be hanging out in my mind for a long time. I stand by that. And I still want to watch the movie, even though apparently the movie is like barely any of the book, and they cut out, sorry, I keep burping, Lee, who's like the best character. So that hurts. Sorry, this is carbonated, so I can't stop burping. It's just going to keep happening. I've also been watching a lot of ASMR to fall asleep lately, so I keep finding myself tapping on things. Ooh. Let's see what Nana's is saying. The first and last time I took someone up on their recommendation was Wheel of Time, and I regret it. I did not know that you read Wheel of Time. Did you only read the first book, or did you read all of it? Because that's so much. That's so much book. Sarah knows. She knows that journey. Okay, so East of Eden is what it is. Yep, see? And yes, it is. You weren't here when I was talking about it. I had a marvelous time ruining everything. Crew Avenue on Instagram. I already plugged her, but look it up because, oh, yeah. Me with my Wheel of Time book right next to me. Yep. Yes, Nana, exactly. I'm scared too, but do I feel like maybe I would read it just based on how much Sarah won't shut up about it? Yes, I do. Maybe one day. Okay, then I listened to, oh wait, you got through 20%. Yeah. So I listened to Disfigured on Fairy Tales, Disability, and Making Space by Amanda, I forget how to say her last name, Leduc? That's not it. I don't know, which is a nonfiction book about fairy tales and disability, which I liked at the time, but the more I hear people talking about it, the less I feel like I actually liked it. I don't know if that makes sense. I gave it 4.6 stars. I do agree that it's like a really interesting subject. I agree with my own Goodreads review is what I'm saying. But I don't think the book was actually as successful as maybe I felt it was, just because like the concept was so interesting. Also, Nana, you're exactly right. Rosamund Pike is everything. And you should watch any and everything that she's in. Oh my God, has anyone seen, this is unrelated to anything. There is a movie. God, it's so bad. What's it called? It's terrible, but I was like, I think this entire movie was her Gone Girl audition. What's it called? I'm going to find it. And if you want to sit through a questionable movie for an amazing actress, this is the movie I recommend. I got to find it. Okay, while I'm looking for it, let's talk Loveless by Alice Oseman. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Big heckin' yes. I gave it 4.6 out of 5 stars. And this was just because of some plot points dragging on and writing being good. Excuse me, is it with Mr. Bean? Was she in anything with Mr. Bean? Yeah, I'm going to talk about Loveless. I'm excited too. Wait, what is she in with Mr. Bean? I don't know what that is. Okay, the movie I'm thinking of is called oh my God, she's done so much. Return to Sender. It's not good, but I think it's her Gone Girl audition. Truly, it says a nurse living in small town wait, that's not a sentence. A nurse living in small town goes on a blind date with a man who is not the person he says he is. And it has Shiloh Fernandez. If you have seen the Amanda Seyfried movie Red Riding Hood, that's her love interest, is Shiloh Fernandez. That's the only thing I know him from, period. Okay, yeah, not Johnny English. So thank you for your input. Anyways, back to Loveless. Where are you? Here you are. So cute, so good. Like, these characters, darling, precious, must be protected at all costs. I love it. And obviously, there's a Shakespeare Society, so I ate that right up. It has Jason. I loved Jason. But I really, it was just like such a good variety of representation. And like, I feel like this is a crash course in like, hey, what are some other sexualities? And can I relate to those feelings? And I think it should be required reading for every young adult. High schoolers, college students, read Loveless. It's good. It's good. 4.6 stars. I said this. Okay. Get that back in place. I feel like we're going to be taking an intermission soon so I can use the bathroom. I'm just going to be real with everyone. How about let's... Oh, wait, that's the end of February. Should I try? Oh, I don't think I can finish March, but I'm definitely not stopping before I talk about Miranda and Caliban by Jacqueline Carey. Actually, no, I am going to pause before I talk about it because I feel like I'm going to talk about this book for a long time. Okay, BRB. How do I make those little banners? Banner. Oh, look, I have a little BRB already saved, but we're going to call it Brief Intermission. I'll be right back, friends. I'm back. Okay, great. Thanks for your patience. You know, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. Nana's going to sleep. Good night. I love you. Okay, bye. I hope your copy of the Excalibur Curse comes soon. I hope mine comes soon too, for that matter. Okay. Where were we? Miranda and freaking Caliban. Cheers to that. I should have grabbed it before I sat down, but we're going to pour this first. If you are drinking with me, please tell me what you're drinking. I am having a grapefruit Paloma from Absolute, and I am absolutely obsessed with these. They're delicious. And look at how pretty they are. So pink. Okay, wait, let me grab this book. I'm gonna cry. Okay, here we go. Oh, having to stand. What a pain. Da, 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 da. Here she is, folks. Do you know what she is? She's the first. No, she's the first 5-star book of my year. So that's amazing. Sarah, I was going to drink White Claw, but my tummy hurts, so just water. That's fair. That's fair. I love me a White Claw, though. This book, so good. So this is a retelling of The Tempest, and I cried. I can only say that this book gives me the feelings that Spring Awakening gives me, of like coming of age and like not knowing like how much adults are telling you the truth versus lying for your own good, and like repressed sexuality, and like just so good. The writing I loved. I like flew through this. My heart is breaking slowly just looking at it. And it was beautiful and sad and good. And it was another book that is very character driven and like follows the characters for a long period of time, because it starts when I think Miranda and Caliban are like 5-ish. I think he's slightly older than her. It's maybe like 5 and 7. I don't know. It was beautiful. The more I love a book, the less I can say about it. So that's good. Love it. Then I listened to a YA historical fiction called Saving Savannah by Tanya Bolden. And I listened to it because I really enjoyed her book Crossing Ebenezer Creek, another one that made me cry. Love to cry. This one was like a little muddled for me. I have to read the synopsis because I can't describe it. Early 1900s America, daughter of an upper-class African-American family in Washington, D.C. But then she starts like learning more about like the suffragettes and the socialist movements and blah, blah, blah. And, she's becoming woke, as the kids might say. And so it just felt like the bones of a really good idea were there, but it was too short for me. Hi, Kara. You're here. I'm only in March, so you're doing great. You just missed this one, though. I know you have feelings. Anyways, so it was fine. I gave it 3.6 stars. Did I already say that? Yep. Okay. That's the end of that review because I don't have much to say about Saving Savannah. Then I read Henry IV Part 2 by William Shakespeare, which I can confirm again, I liked less than the first part. And if Goodreads will load, I will tell you what I rated it specifically. So I'll take a sip while we wait for Goodreads to get it together. Please, Goodreads. Oh my gosh. Page unavailable. Why? Don't do this to me. Okay, great. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. Actually, that's still better than I thought. Okay, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think I'm sorry. Every other one of these just turns out to be me reading a Goodreads review that I wrote that's very lackluster. But I said, I thought I was liking this better than part 1, but it was just so full of Falstaff and I was so over him. I also missed Lady Percy. One scene, mere crumbs of my gal. And that's the truth. I still don't like Falstaff, and I sure did love the Hotspurs. In fact, Falstaff is the reason I think that's taking me over a month, almost a month now, to read the frickin' Merry Wives of Windsor. I was like, oh, this should be a piece of cake. It's a comedy. No, Falstaff is here, so I hate it here. I don't like him. I don't understand why he's a popular character. Look, Kara agrees. Oh my God, why does anyone like him? He's so annoying. Shut up. So that's that. Henry IV Part 2. Okay, then I reread, oh no, I don't want to stand up and get it. I reread A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Because it's so cute. This was one of my favorites as a kid. I was not a Secret Garden child. I was a Little Princess child. And I mean that so forcefully. Like the movie, a regular at Blockbuster for me, a staple. I saw the play adaptation and then I played it repeatedly at recess with my friends, and I got to be Sarah, and then my friend was, oh my God, why can't I think of her name? That's so embarrassing. The servant girl. What's her name? Oh no. Oh no. I'm a fake fan. And yeah, we would do the accents, we would do everything. It was great. I gave it 4.4 stars. So cute. Like very nostalgic. It's not like a perfect book, but golly gee, I love it. So it's really good. Okay, what else? Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. So maybe it's a good thing Nana left, because this was her recommendation to me. And I feel like my positive opinion of this has gone down since I read it. So I gave it 4 stars. But do I remember it? Very little. Do I care about it? Also very little. Ugh. I feel like this was really a booktube darling back in the day, so I don't know how much I need to describe it, but she in my review, I just said she had that whole Evan Hansen vibe going for herself, and that's so accurate. She's like oh my God, what does she do? Eliza draws a webcomic. Thank you. Words. And it's very popular, and then she meets this guy at her school, and it turns out like he writes fan fiction. Is that what it was about her comic? Yes. And like their relationship was cute, the story was like kind of a downer. And sometimes I like to cry, but it wasn't even like so sad and like deep that I was just like in my feelings. It was just kind of me being like, God, what a bummer. So I gave it 4 stars, but I did unhaul my copy. So what does that tell you? I don't know. I just hope someone else enjoys it. Yep. What's next? Oh, we got another Pastic Classics book in the house. Can I get it? It's so tiny. I read Letter from Birmingham Jail by Martin Luther King Jr. A great read. Obviously it's tiny, so I put some tabs in, but not many because it's tiny. But a really good read, and I think it probably is required reading, but I never read it in school, so it should be required for everyone. It's iconic. It was great. I gave it 5 stars. I don't know what more I can really tell you. Sorry, this is going to be a pain to put away. Hold on. Just get in your little spot. Okay, great. So there's that. Then, what's next for March? March was like a good reading month. I read a lot in March. Actually, I don't know if that means it was a good reading month. It was a well-read reading month. I read a lot. Then I read Paper Girls Volume 5. So good. I love Paper Girls. I gave it 4.6 stars. I don't know how to review series without giving things away, but I say the same thing for every issue of Paper Girls. Like, I didn't fully understand it, but I liked it. So that's all I need to know. I love the characters. Like, the 4 titular Paper Girls, they're iconic. They're so good. I especially love Tiff and KJ. So, yeah. Anyways, the girls. I love them. It's like a sci-fi time travel comic series. Have you not heard of Paper Girls? I bet you have all heard of it, so it's fine. And then, oh my God, this must have been Bookoplathon. I think this was during Bookoplathon that I read all these, because then, can you see it already back here? They read Taking Sides, which is a Sweet Valley High book. Cheers to Francine Pascal. These books also aged so badly, so poorly. I gave this one 3 stars, though. That's good for a Sweet Valley High. That's good. Wow. I'm going to review. I can talk. Okay. I'm just going to read my review because I think it really says it all. My Goodreads review is, and I quote, Francine Pascal only knows fat phobia, drama, eating hot chip, and lying in her synopsis. Mr. Collins is a ray of sunshine in the ironically gray sky that is Sweet Valley. Yes. Can I say amen to myself? Because I was right. I don't know. These books had no business being as casually fat phobic as they were. I mean, I guess it was like the 80s and early 90s. Not the best time for body image, let's just say. But yeah. And then every single Sweet Valley High book, whatever it says on the back, you better believe that conflict is resolved 2-3 chapters in, and then something entirely different is happening. Like, what's this one say? So Jeffrey French is the new guy, and all the girls have crushes on him. And so Elizabeth's friend has a crush on him, and Jessica's friend has a crush on him. So the two of them are both trying to set their best friend up with the guy. But then, I forget who he ends up liking, Elizabeth probably. Someone who was not their friend. It was either Elizabeth or Elizabeth and Jessica's cousin. Or I might be conflating this with another book where their cousin was there. I think the last one, their cousin got the guy. And listen, Jeffrey French, it was kind of cute. I liked him. Yeah. Lying in the synopsis is such a weird thing to be consistent about. But it's all she does. It's she tries to reel you in with this dramatic piece of information. Like the last one I read before this, literally, Elizabeth was in a coma. She was in a coma. And the back of the book is will Jessica be able to live without her sister? Who is she without Elizabeth? And then end of chapter 1, Elizabeth is awake. And the rest of the book is about Jessica, it's about Elizabeth, having Jessica's personality. And so Jessica has to learn a lesson. I was this is not what I bargained for. So this was fine. Mr. Collins, who I briefly mentioned in my review, is their school newspaper person / English teacher. And I'm so into him. I gotta find all the books that have Mr. Collins. I know there's one in which it's about his romance, not with a student, mind you, with an adult woman. So everything's fine, even though many girls have crushes on him, as they should. I would too. I would have been a student at Sweet Valley High thirsting after Mr. Collins, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. So I need to find his books, but he's the best guy. He's a single dad. He's a good teacher. He does not overstep his boundaries, but he also takes care of his students as people. I love me some Mr. Collins. And you'll never hear me say that sentence again because it sounds like I'm talking about Pride and Prejudice. So, Kara, Sweet Valley High was not a childhood staple for you. And yeah, it's just as weird as you think. I had more experience probably reading the Sweet Valley Twins books, because those are the junior high books, and they also had Sweet Valley Kids, which is them in elementary school. I can't believe, oh my God, her ghostwriters, they were making her bank. Francine, what an icon. Anyways, I gotta stop talking about Sweet Valley High. Okay, we're done with that. Okay, then, Kara, I'm so glad you're here for this. I read A Conspiracy in Belgravia, the second book in the Lady Sherlock series by Sherry Thomas. I like this series. I don't know. It's I kind of forget about these books, and then every time I'm in them, I'm I love it here. So it is the second book in a series, so I won't tell you too much, but it's just Charlotte Holmes is a woman in period accurate times. I don't know Victorian. When is Sherlock? I don't know. Yes, Victorian. Okay, I'm good. And she's basically lying all the time. She's let me consult with my ailing brother, the detective. And then she goes in a room and she just like thinks about it. And then she comes out and she's like, yes, I've solved your mystery. Like, I love it. It's fun. I gave it 4 stars. And Kara knows this because I've been teasing her about it. I said, I'm always weak for a lady detective who has an unavailable man pining for her, especially when he's like an actual police detective usually. And no, it seriously can't be worse than A Study in Charlotte. And it isn't, because it's good. I hope you like it. That's going to be awkward. But yeah, I'm very excited to read actual Sherlock books this month for Past It Classics, because now I'm going to be like cultured and actually know the context. So it's very exciting. Okay. Oh no. Okay. No, this is fine. This is fine. I'm looking ahead at why I'm saying, oh no, it's not about this book. So then I listened to Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey. This is a novella. And it's like a dystopian Western. Yes, Lulu, exactly. Exactly. It's Miss Fisher vibes. Ugh. That's what got me into it. So yes, it's a mood. So anyways, Upright Women Wanted is very short. I listened to it as an audiobook, but maybe I should own it because I gave it 4.4 stars, but I also kind of forgot about it, so we'll see. Yeah, my girlies get it. All I said about this book was, what's there to be mad at when it comes to an insurrectionist Sapphic librarians? Oh wait, 2 insurrectionist Sapphic librarians who are living in a dystopian Western future. Like, that's a fun concept. I wanted it to be like a historical Western, not like a future Western, but I'll take what I can get when it comes to female-led Westerns. And that's the absolute truth. Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, that's the show. Period. So I liked it. If you are looking for a book with like non-binary representation, one of the main characters in this book goes by they, them pronouns. So use that on your bingo boards. And it was fun. I liked it. Okay. And Helen says, it makes me want to read it because I heard mixed things, but I trust Miss Julia above all else. I don't even know which book you're saying this about, Helen, but thank you. Do trust me. And then hopefully I don't spoil that trust by you reading a book that I said you should read that actually wasn't that good. Okay, this is why I said, oh no. Because the last book I read in March was The Royal We by Heather Cox and Jessica Morgan, which I don't own, but listen, I don't own, but I will buy it to torture myself. Truly, truly, and seriously, I will. So this book is marketed as a romance. I would call it a contemporary with a heavy romance plot line. I'm just going to be real with you because it's very long. It's very long. Oh, good. It's about Upright Women Wanted. Yeah, it was a good time. It's so short. I don't understand how anyone can like be mad at a book that like doesn't waste your time. You know what I mean? Like, if a book was okay, but it took me 2 hours to read, why am I mad at it? I'm not. Don't be mad. So The Royal We, 454 pages. 454 pages. Thank you, Mary Margaret. She knows my brand is being upset. So The Royal We, American girl. She goes to England for college. I love that you're going to a concert. Which concert are you going to? Also have fun. Also be safe. Also, yes, you'll catch up later. I know you will. I trust you. Yes, exactly, Kara. Exactly. So she goes to England because she's trying to differentiate herself from her twin sister. She's like, we're not the same person. You know how twins are, right? And then Bex is her name, by the way. Bex meets all the people in her dorm, and one of them happens to be the Prince of England. Whoa. And then they fall in love, and it's very cute. But then there's also this guy who's like their mutual friend, and he's into her. And oh my God, I gotta tell you about, okay, so her sister comes. I'm gonna spoil this scene just because like my heart just seized even thinking about it. So there's this scene where her sister comes to England for Halloween, because I think their birthday's around Halloween, so they like go hard celebrating it, you know? And they dress up as what is it? A Little White Lie and something similar but black. What is a similar phrase? I don't know. I need the book. But Bex is the Little White Lie. And so all night long, she's asking people to write lies on her shirt. Yeah, Helen, yeah, you would remember me talking about this because I could not shut up about these two books. My friend Brittany lent them to me, and I was suffering in good and bad ways. We'll get there. And so she was a Little White Lie. And so everyone was writing lies on her shirt. And at the end of the night, Nick, the prince, had written something hinting towards romance. And it was like, ooh, because that was like the first inkling of that. And then the other guy, why can't I think of his name right now? Come on. Come on. What's your name? What's your name? God, it's going to kill me that I can't remember his name. I want to call him Oscar, but I know his name is not Oscar for a fact. Clark, maybe? Clark feels right. I'm going to call him Clark. And Clark was like her friends with benefits at the time. And he wrote like some, not verbatim, but something like, no, Sarah, we're going to get to Freddie. Believe you me, I'm leaving this up. Pin that comment. And then Clark was like, I don't want anything more, is like what he wrote on her shirt. So like both the men are yearning after her and I was dying. Okay. Like this book was so slow, but then at the end of every chapter, it left you with the biggest cliffhangers. And I would be like, ah, like I was freaking out. And then Freddie, hold on. Cheers to Freddie. Freddie is Nick's younger brother, the heir and the spare, if you will. And he's the best. God, I love him. I don't want to spoil this series, but I also don't want anyone to read this series and suffer the way I did. So Freddie is he's the best. The first time he meets Bex is because she was sleeping in Nick's bed, and when she woke up, Freddie was there instead of Nick because he's a little butt face and I love him. And then she like punches him, and so for the rest of time he calls her killer because she just like attacked him on their first meeting. And I love Freddie, and I love that Kara's into the feels with me. Should I spoil some things? Sound off in the comments if you're okay with me spoiling some things right now. I already spoiled them at some point in my Goodreads, or not my Goodreads, in my Instagram stories, but I'll just like talk about nothing for a second so you can tell me spoilers or no spoilers. But I really love Freddie. He's Nick's younger brother. And Sarah votes yes for spoilers. I'll look up what I actually rated this. I gave it 4 stars. Yeah. Okay, do it. Just hold something up until you're done for people watching. Exactly. Oh, wait, I can do a little banner. They have freaking banners. Okay, wait. Spoilers. Spoilers banner up. We're talking about the royal we. So Freddie, like 2/3, 3/4 of the way through the book, admits that he's in love with Bex and I'm dying and he was dying and he kissed her and I was like, ah, and everything was wild. It was intense. I would love to find my Instagram story of this day. Actually, I tweeted it because there's a picture of me like this and there's a picture of me with the book like, and it was like when Freddie admitted that he's in love with Bex and I was dying because if you know me, you know one of my favorite tropes of all time is a love triangle with 2 brothers. It's a love triangle on steroids because no one wants to hurt anyone because you all care about one another, but also both the guys are like, but I'm in love with you. And it's like, it's so good. Anyways, so end of book 1. Doesn't really go in the Freddie direction, but we'll get to book 2 later. Oh, will we get to it? Spoilers done for now. I love him. God, I love him. I love Freddie with my whole heart. Anyways, that's the royal we. Okay, then is Helen still here? We have our first books for our book club. So we started the Reading the Renaissance book club, which we are very behind on, but that's our MO. We said it was going to be the most laid back book club of all time, and we meant it. So I read Lucrezia Borgia, Life, Love, and Death in Renaissance Italy by Sarah Bradford. This was nonfiction. It got the job done. I gave it 3 stars. Historical nonfiction is kind of dry sometimes. It is what it is. There's a live show on my channel if you want to hear more thoughts about it. Lucrezia Borgia was the daughter of a pope, and their family was very scandalous. So, yeah. Then I also read Blood and Beauty by Sarah Gennant, which is a fictional book about kind of Lucrezia Borgia, but also all the Borgias in general. I gave it 3.6 stars, but I think I would read the sequel, honestly. You got the job done. And Cesare, her brother, was not very likable in that book, but maybe for the better. Like, maybe I should stop romanticizing Cesare Borgia. Seems like not a great guy objectively, but yeah, that book was really something. It was indeed. So that was Blood and Beauty. I have no more thoughts about it. Then I read Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare. Wait, Kara hates Cesare. Yeah. Yes, yeah. I don't, because like the rumor historically is like the incestuous relationship, but it's like, I get you're not trying to romanticize the incest, but as readers, like maybe you should. Because either you want us to feel that weird relationship or you want it to seem entirely like an abusive relationship. Like it shouldn't be both. It really shouldn't. Yeah, Much Ado. Okay, let's talk about that. Much Ado About Nothing, I gave 5 stars. It's a great play. It was a reread for me. Yeah, so good. It's so good. There's so many like Romeo and Juliet elements. I'm obsessed with that. Beatrice, iconic hero, and freaking what's her boyfriend's name? Claudio. Is that his name? Did I make his name up? What's his name? Kara, is it Claudio? I love them. I'm looking it up. Much Ado, please. Oh my God. Okay, it is Claudio. Thank God. Oh wait, I gotta jump around because comments always go slower than it is Claudio. Yes. Okay. Last thing about Cesare. Wish the author hadn't put the incest part in the book at all, especially since historically they're pretty sure it didn't happen. I know that's the thing. It's like it was the rumor historically, and people just dragged that rumor through time. It's like we can do better as historians. I know he really did. He really, really did. Yeah, RIP to every variation of Claude in a Shakespeare play. Like, you did your best. Much Ado About Nothing is so good. It has fake dating. It has people denying feelings. It has bets and games, and this is a bad description. Beautiful quotes, gorgeous quotes. Yeah, so good. It's so good. And I watched the movie on my birthday for the first time. That was my first time watching it. And it's like, this should have been a staple my whole life. So, yeah, Much Ado About Nothing. We love it. Oh my God. Okay, here's a fun one. I don't own it. Maybe I should. Oh my God. Another book with aliens? How many alien books did I read in 2021? Because I finished another one recently. Wait, I got to find out which book had aliens recently. Didn't a book have aliens recently? I've just confused myself. I swear I was just reading something that also had aliens. And now I see like no trace of aliens. I know I was talking about them, but I swear I was reading something. Anyways, okay. I read Faith, Volume 1, Hollywood and Vine, which is a comic series about a fat superhero named Faith. I loved her. She's so fun. I think my only complaint about this was I couldn't tell if there was like another comic somewhere where we got like backstory for her former like superhero team, because it felt like I was getting an info dump that was like wrapping up something else. And I was like, was I already supposed to know this? Or are you actually telling me for the first time? But I loved Faith. Her friend group, so cute. Darlings, all of them. Some of the art is done by Marguerite Sauvage, who is just such a good artist. I would love to own some art by her, but it's very expensive, so I probably never will. And again, this book has creepy aliens. I don't like aliens taking people over. I don't like them in our minds. I don't want them in people's bodies. I don't want them consuming humans in any way. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like it. I gave it 4.3 stars. The comic was really good, other than the fact that I'm very afraid of aliens. Listen, I talked about this when I was live with Nana doing some reading sprints. I was raised on too many episodes of The Twilight Zone for this. My dad did not prepare me for this moment. He scarred me for this. So there we go. But I will continue in that series because Faith was super cute. Loved her. And then I read an ebook. Sorry, these are a lot of books that I do not own, so I have nothing to hold up for you. Oh my God, Mary Margaret. That's also true because my dad watched The X-Files, and you know what? I never watched it. I was out of the room like that because that theme song scared me. I was a child and I'd hear the do and I'd be like, gotta go. This is creepy. Like I couldn't do it. I would be very interested in the two characters romantically because I know like that's a thing and that the internet loves, but I don't think I could ever watch it. Hi, darling. So yeah, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining. Did you get my message about Graceling, by the way? Yeah, I'm scared of aliens. So now you know that about me. I can handle the host and I can handle the cage, but only because I love the rest of the characters, not because I can handle the aliens. I don't like that aliens are a theme. Okay, I gotta stop. So I read, whoa, that tab did not open. I read an ebook, which was Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. Oh boy, by Julia Quinn. This is the fourth book in the Bridgerton series. Again, if you missed it earlier, I do not read romance series in order. I read them based on tropes and what I'm interested in. And then if I like it good enough, then I'll go elsewhere in the series. But that is not what I'm about. So this is Penelope and Colin's book because, like the rest of us, I saw the show and I went, I'd like to know more. So it was mostly good. Here's the thing about Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. The first half of that book, I think I would have given it 5 stars or incredibly close to 5 stars. Truly, honestly. Their first kiss scene, I imploded. It was delightful. So good. But then Miss Quinn here decided to just say like, okay, well, once my characters get together, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of out of characterness for Mr. Colin. And like the more we got to know him, like the more angry he was. And I was like, why are you behaving this way? You're a nice boy. Stop yelling at everybody. He was so cranky, so possessive, so just like entitled to like whatever Penelope was doing. I'm like, she is a separate human being from you, sir. Wait, thoughts. Oh boy, I'm ready. Literally just saw it. Yay! Okay, good. yeah, it's really cute so far. I think I'm like a fifth or quarter of the way into Graceling. We'll talk about it later. That's off topic. Yeah, I did not like Colin for the second half of the book, and that ruined it because, sorry, romance is pretty contingent on liking the couple, and I only liked half the couple by the end. Mary Margaret, I will see you soon. So I'm just like, why this? You know, it was mad. Actually, yeah, in my Goodreads review, I said Julia got messy with her characterization and it was borderline unforgivable to me. So there you go. I gave it 3.4 stars. Because, God, I would reread that first kiss scene 100 times and love it just as much every single time. And I even loved that scene in the carriage afterwards. Hold on. Not afterwards. Okay. I even love the scene in the carriage where this is the book. I'm really going to spoil Bridgerton right now. If you haven't seen the first season of the show and you don't want to know anything about it, get out of here. Like a huge plot line in the book is that Penelope is going to be revealed as Lady Whistledown, right? And like she's concerned about it, but Colin is like raving. Like he thinks it's going to be the end of the world. He's like, if people know you're Lady Whistledown, it's the apocalypse. So he's like so dramatic. But I just love the scene in the carriage afterwards when she's like dropping off her stuff for someone to pick up to like publish her letters. And then he's like mad at her. Then they end up like kissing and it's cute and stuff. And then he just like so blatantly is like, well, will you marry me? Like, I forget how he said it, but it was like so matter of fact. And he's like, well, obviously, like, will you marry me? Right. And it was just like really out of the blue and cute and funny. But that was the last thing that Colin did that I liked. So, okay, bye. Enough of that book. I still am going to read Eloise's book because we have a widower. That's my jam. And we have Eloise, who is really my jam on the show. So I'm hoping the book doesn't disappoint me. But I didn't read it this year, so maybe next year. Okay, next. It was another galley. So it's another ebook. So it's another thing I can't hold up for any of you. I read Why She Wrote, a graphic history of the lives, inspiration, and influence behind the pens of classic women writers. Woo! By Lauren Burke, Hannah K. Chapman, and Kaylee Bales. And this was cute. I gave it 4.5 stars. It's like all about female authors, obviously. So many women in this book that I'd never heard of, which is something I really appreciate when it's like a collection of like feminist history, is like being informed of people who I don't know. Like I literally am like, this is a brand new name to me. That's a thrill. Excuse me. There were several writers where I was like, I'm going to have to look into her. I don't know her. And I love that. It was like partially in graphic novels, so it was cute because it would be like giving you like a little taste of who this woman was, like a little mini biography, and then it would delve into like a particular like slice of life kind of formative, usually moment in her life as the comic strip. And then it would end with like a fun fact and like, here's a list of all of her writings. And I'm like, yeah. So it was good. It was, yeah, I liked it. It was cute. And look at that, Babella. It's a theme for Miss Quinn to F up in the second half of her books, huh? Uh-oh. That doesn't bode well. I mean, from what I know about Daphne's story, clearly, yes. So maybe that's just her thing. Strong start, and then just crash and burn. Could be the case. Okay, next, I think I own it. Oh, I'm so sad that Nana's gone for this one. I read Summer Bird Blue by Akemi Dawn Bowman. I actually listened to this as an audiobook for her book club. But then when I was at like a bargain bookstore, I saw it and I was like, heck yes, I'm buying it because this book, I love to cry. So this is a book, a YA, contemporary, hard-hitting. It's sad. It's so sad. about a girl named Rumi and her sister Leah dies in a car accident. And then after that, her mom is like, you're going to Hawaii to live with your aunt. And she's like, really, Mom? Like, we're grieving and you're just going to like cut me out of your life? That's rude. And so she goes to Hawaii and she's like angry and grieving and she can't write songs anymore because that's what she used to do with her sister. And like everything's garbage and she hates it. But then she starts to make friends and build relationships, including with the old man neighbor of her aunt. And we all love like a teenager old man friendship, right? Like that's always so cute. And then, oh my God, what's his name? Is his name Kai? Honey, what's my name? Kai, it is Kai. And she meets Kai, who I love. He's so cute. And yeah, I cried. I cried a lot at the end of this book. And I love to cry. So if you like to cry and you can handle a book that is this heavy, do it. Because it was really cute. And it has ace rep. And it was good. It was just good. I don't know what more I can tell you. It was good. Was I going to say something else? Oh, and I want to read more from her. That's all I wanted to say. Okay, are we still in March? No, we've been in April. I never announced us moving on to April. What is wrong with me? Oh, that was my last book of April. April was a sad, quiet little reading month. You're welcome. Do read it and do cry. Okay, May. Are we going to make it? I feel like we're going to make it through like half the year. Like, what if we do May and June and then wrap it up? Like, I feel like that's solid, right? Right, guys? Uh-oh. Okay, after this, we're getting into sequel territory, and it's going to be rough. So I read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which was a reread, and it was also a Past It Classics read, and it was so good. Actually, I annotated the heck out of my copy this time. Well, okay, the heck is an understatement, but I did annotate it, which I love. I love annotating a book. I tabbed Jane Eyre allusions, and I tabbed Frank, because I like Frank, and I tabbed quotes that I like. What are the blue tabs? Actually, why am I trying to figure this out when I'm sure I like gave myself a little key? Okay, I tabbed themes of fire and water and Jane Eyre and quotes and Frank. All the important things. I do have the Netflix cover, so sorry for that, man. But this cover's pretty. Like, you can't lie. For a tie-in adaptation cover, that's stunning. So I'm going to struggle to put this away. And I think I gave it 4.5 stars. I'll tell you for sure. Yes, Frank gets his own tab. He's important to me. I like Frank. I really fully am invested in the new headcanon. Who said this? Someone said this in the live show, that like they never name who she's with in those scenes where they're like on the lam. So I'm like, oh my God, it could be Frank. Who knows, right? I know it is Frank. I gave Rebecca 4 stars, just a straight up 4 stars. It's good. The writing is beautiful. It feels so ominous. Yes. Period. Okay, back into the old sequel territory. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Paper Girls Volume 6. It is the end of the Paper Girls saga, and it was delicious. I gave it 4.6 stars. Maxim does not deserve old age. He deserves nothing. He deserves absolutely nothing. Paper Girls Volume 6, my entire Goodreads review says, quote, "We're not just paper girls. We're friends." End quote. R.I.P. my heart. Exactly. Exactly. I love like a little poignant ending. And honestly, of all the series, it was the one that made any sense to me. So, like, kudos for them pulling together a very confusing series into like mostly an explainable story. Amazing. Okay, now now it's time to suffer because we're going to talk about The Heir Affair, which is the sequel to The Royal We. I'm just going to put up the spoiler banner right now. I hate it here. I hate it here. Please finish Paper Girls. I beg of you. They're so cute. I love them. Okay, so the Heir Affair. I don't even know if this counts as having read this book. So I was listening to the audiobook because the first book was so long. And I thought to myself, that'll make it faster if I listen to the audiobook. But I felt like I was just trudging through a bog, like just pulling my way along. Bex is like having conversations with the woman who does her hair before royal family interviews. And I'm like, enough. I just want to get out of here. Where is Freddie, right? Where's Freddie? I need to know. So about, how far did I make it? Maybe like a fifth, a third, a quarter. I just said, we're done. DNF. But then I thought, but what if things are going well for my boy? I should check the Goodreads reviews and find out, like what's in the cards for Freddie boy, right? Those reviews changed my life in that I was crying. I don't think I've ever cried at a Goodreads review before, but I did. I had to read people who wrote spoilery reviews saying, oh yeah, and then Nick can't get Bex pregnant, and that's bad because they're royals. So then they're like, we need a sperm donor. Oh, the best person would be the person closest to you biologically. That's your brother who's carrying a torch for your wife. They got married at the end of the first book. But it wasn't like a royal wedding. It was like an elopement. So that's kind of spicy. So they ask Freddie to donate his sperm to get Bex pregnant, and it works. I don't know why I started doing a megaphone. I'm just like trying to disassociate from this plot line, I think. And then there's like another princess visiting from, where is she from? Like kind of like a Scandinavian country. She likes Freddie. Freddie doesn't really love her, but he likes her good enough because she's like fine. She's a nice person. She's not a bad person. But then obviously he can't marry Bex because Bex is married to his brother. So what happens? He's like, fine, I'll marry, I think her name was Daphne. He's like, I'll marry Daphne. And so at his wedding, at Freddie's wedding to the woman he doesn't love, I have to read him putting his hands on Bex's pregnant belly. Did I mention they're having twins? Because they are. And he's like, well, I'll always love you. Like, sorry it has to end this way. Like, it was terrible. It was so bad. I hate it here. Like, I was hurting. Oh, yeah. I didn't explain this very well. So when I DNF'd the audiobook, I just said, I'm literally going to physically scan for every scene of Freddie and only read Freddie's scenes. So that's what I did. And that's how I suffered. And I gave this book 2.6 stars. Because objectively, I'm sure there were parts of the book that were fine, but I couldn't do it. Also, Kara, that was almost me reading spoiler reviews of the Excalibur Curse. No tears, but very close. Why are you reading spoiler reviews of the Excalibur Curse when you know I'm about to read it and message you everything? That is so rude. Also, that does not bode well because I know who you like best in that book. Kara, don't do this to me. Yes, and Helen, you showed up at a very vulnerable time for me. Yeah, it was really rough. Oh, my spoilers banner is gone. Yeah, you're DNFing the series, but I didn't. I'm going to tell you everything. I got the tea. Okay, we're done with the spoilers. Oops, for now. But we are going to take a quick bathroom break again. Now that I'm done ranting about the air affair, let's go potty. Be right back. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, we're back at it. Sorry, that was probably an alarming way to restart this, to just yell, okay at you. Well, it is what it is, though. We're back. Okay. Excuse me, Helen. There's nothing to gossip about. I'm very unscandalous. Okay. Speaking of not scandal at all, that's unrelated. So I read is this still May? Yeah, in May, a graphic novel, galley, called Calamity Jane. It's Wild West. I wanted to say episode. That's not the right word. Volume 1, issue 1. I don't know. Not the Saying It, Chief. Not it. So it's by, are these people French? I don't know how to say their names. Oh wait, the brief intermission's still there. Helen, I was testing loyalties. See, it works. It all works out. No tea to be had. I think the author is named Thierry Gloris or Thierry, I don't know. Illustrated by Jacques Lamontagne. So fun name, bad graphic novel. Did not like. 2.5 star or 2.6 stars because that's how averages work. So like, here's the thing. I was really excited because it was Calamity Jane, and I love a female-centered Western. The problem was, it's like you're going to make your story be about a woman and then make it so much centered on violence against women. And I went, no, that's not at all what I signed up for. I'm fine if you want to like accurately tell the story of a historical figure, except we don't actually know that much accurately about Calamity Jane, Miss Martha, if you will. So like you can't tell me like, but that's what happened to her. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Where did you get that information that none of the rest of us knew? So because this one was a galley, I do have a full Goodreads review if you want to know my thoughts, but it was just like too gritty and gory and for me. Did not like. And I wrote, and the fact that NetGalley had this categorized as women's fiction, ... I need to lie down, OMG. And that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. Actually, I love seeing that the other top review, like after mine, the next two are 2 stars. That's valid. One review just says, incredible art for adults only. What a review. Anyways, that wasn't it. Yes, I just slammed my glass into my teeth. We're fine here. Okay, then I listened to the audiobook for The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow, I think. This was good. Probably like longer than it needed to be, but definitely not bad. A lot of my buzzwords, you know, we have sisters, witches, feminism, mothers, motherhood, ooh, fairy tales, romance, lots of good stuff. I gave it 4.4 stars. I don't own it, but maybe I should. I should add that to my wish list. And I said literally in my review, I was like, I think I'll like it even more one day when I reread it as a physical copy. And I stand by that. I enjoyed it. I don't have any deep thoughts to say. The mom sister was my favorite. And right on cue, Mary Margaret says, I hear motherhood, and immediately Julia pops into my head. I know. There was, what was it? What song was it? I liked a reel on Instagram the other day, and it was like, I bet you think about me. Was it Taylor Swift? That doesn't feel right. Sorry, I literally have to find it. It's going to drive me nuts. And it was like, when you hear these things, I bet you think about me. And I was like, I'm going to recreate this. And one of them is going to be Shakespeare. And the next one is going to be motherhood. Because I'm that predictable. But, you know, we love having a brand. Is that it? Nope. Is that it? Nope. Oh, is that it? No. Sorry, this is about to be so boring as I'm trying to find a specific reel. Okay, I'm giving myself 5 scrolls, and then if I don't find it, so be it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, the world may never know. But yeah, The Once and Future Witches. Oh God, here we go. Next, I have Trust Exercise by Susan Choi. Yeah, she got unhauled. She got unhauled real quick. To be fair, the copy I was reading was an ARC. It came out years ago, but I was reading an ARC copy. So maybe, just maybe, the book is better than what I read of it. But I was buddy reading it with my friend Emma, and she seemed to hate it also, so I don't think it changed much at all. I gave this book 1.4 stars. And if you're thinking to yourself, Julia, I haven't heard you say 1 point anything until right now. Yeah, you're right. This book was bad. It was set in the 80s at a high school that is kind of like akin to the Fame school. Like it's a school for artist teenagers. And God, it was so weird. It was like needlessly sexual for a book about teenagers. It had 3 distinct sections that were like barely connected. The second section entirely undermined the first section. The third section was so short, and all it did was say like, hey, I think that other character is my mom. Like, I can't even describe it. Like, it was so weird. The second section, I kid you not, involved a woman who, as a teenager, was involved with a teacher from another school who was like not even like a hot, sexy Mr. Collins nice teacher. He was like a gross, ugly, nasty teacher. Not that doesn't make it better or worse. That's still bad, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like I don't even know why she wanted to be with him, let alone was with him. Except for the fact that he was a predator. But anyways, so like, yeah, he was like, there were relations, and then blah. But then at the end of it, they're like working together on a play, both as adults. And then I can't tell still to this day. I don't know if it was literal or metaphorical, but there was supposed to be a gun in the play. And then she was like the person who was in charge of the prop gun because for whatever reason she knew about them. And I swear to you, she shot his penis off. And I don't know if it's literal, but I think it was literal. And like, good for you, girl. Like, but oh my God, like, it was so weird. And the whole book was like badly written. And the word crotch, I swear, appeared in that book 6 times. No book should have the word crotch in it more than 0 times. So to sum it up, ew. I hated it. It was so bad. It was not good. It was not good. I really wanted to like it because I like stories about actors, but it wasn't about actors. It was about sexual deviance. I don't know. It was bad. Let's turn it around by talking about The White Queen. The White Queen by Philippa Gregory. You know, I thought I had a bone to pick with Philippa Gregory after the other Bolden girl, but she kind of turned it around with The White Queen. I liked it. It was another example of a book that like follows a character for just years and years and decades of their life. And I'm like, delectable. Like, I love that. And it's very interesting having now watched the show of The White Queen too, because like every woman that show follows like is on opposing sides. And I'm like, you go girls. I'm rooting for all of you. Can't root for all of you because you're all going to like not support each other. But yes. This is one of our Reading the Renaissance books. So it was good, Kara. It was a good time. I listened to the audiobook, but I do want to own it. Although I do now own, where are you? Where are you, my little book? Somewhere I own, oh my God, where is it? Somewhere I have the book about Anne Neville from the series, which is called, I don't know. What's it called? The Kingmaker's Daughter. That's what it's called. I do own that one now, and I want to read The Red Queen too. I gave it 4.2 stars. It was good. Anne Neville was sorely lacking in The White Queen, but I guess that's not her story. So knowing that she has her own book makes me feel better, even though I don't feel optimistic about her portrayal in that book, but we'll see. And I think I'll even read the first book, which is about like Elizabeth Woodville's mom. Like, Jacquetta is a cool lady. I like Jacquetta. Yeah, The White Queen. And you know what? I'll never get tired of? It's so overplayed, but I love witchcraft as a metaphor for women having power historically. I like it, okay? It's overused, but I like it. Let's talk about Shakespeare. Barely. Next in May, I read Henry V by William Shakespeare. I feel like the longer this goes on, the weirder I am acting. Golly. I wonder why that could be. So Henry V, according to Goodreads, is Shakespeare's most famous war play, which probably explains why I don't remember it very well. Yes, Kara. Yeah. Like sometimes it works. Like it's as a concept, I enjoy it. Okay, yeah. Again, this is one I don't remember because unless you're Henry VI and you're a history play, I don't know you. You're all one play in my mind. Really need to reread those in the future. But I said the other histories are war heavy too, but at least they have some complex female characters and like a little side eye emoji. So that's why I gave it 3.6 stars. Where are the ladies, William? Where are the ladies? That's all we're going to say about Henry V. Okay. God, we're still in May. 2 more books. Okay. I listened to The Starlet and the Spy, which is a novella by Jimin Lee, translated by Chi Young Kim. I did not know I read a work in translation. Awesome. This must have been because it was the Asian readathon going on, because it was May. Putting the puzzle pieces together. So this was one that was on my radar that ended up being like fine, kind of forgettable and fine. It's the same thing as Upright Women Wanted. It's like so short, I can't be mad at it. It just didn't wow me either. I gave it 3.2 stars. It's about a woman in Korea. Was it just Korea? They're only saying Korea. When did Korea even split into North and South Korea? Oh wait, they say the setting is South Korea. Okay. So South Korea, a South Korean woman, and then Marilyn Monroe is there. I don't remember why. I guess just like as a little pick-me-up for soldiers. Let me just read my Goodreads review because I barely remember this one. It says, I honestly think this would have been better off as a full-blown novel with fewer flashbacks, but that's what I say about almost everything. Alice and Marilyn's interactions were my favorite part by far. Okay, that's all I can give you. Yeah, I really remember so little about this one. Sorry to this book. But it was fine. It was passable. The last book I read in May, and then we have one more month, and then we're going to stop. Hold on. How many more books is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to talk about 9 more books. Okay. Listen, apparently I can talk about books for a long time. The only issue is my bladder control because I have taken 2 bathroom breaks so far. So there we have it. Okay. The last book I read in May this year was The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This was one of my picks for Past It Classics. Was it? I think this was one of my picks. Kara, was this one of my picks? I can't remember. I think it was. I kept it, so we like it. I gave it 4 stars, just an even 4 stars. And my Goodreads review says, maybe I'm biased in favor of it because there are 300 Shakespeare references in this book. And that is so true. This man really was bringing up Shakespeare every chance he got, and I respect it. Oh, wait, Sarah's leaving. Goodbye. I love you. Thank you for coming. And Kara's also like, I think it was yours. Who knows? But I enjoyed it. Like, it is what it is. I really love the ending. Like, every time I describe the ending to someone, I get goosebumps, like, up and down my arms. So, like, that's effective writing. That's effective storytelling. You know, it's, like, hard to enjoy all of it because some of the characters are such butt faces. But it's a good story. Who can deny it? And I just want to rewatch the movie with Ben Barnes, not because I'm sure it's a faithful adaptation, but because Ben Barnes. Yeah, bad book for me, good ending. Yeah, I remember your feelings, Carol. So there's that. That's the end of May. Okay, let's do June books. Thank you for checking. It was my pick. I thought so, but then I second guessed it. And yeah, Mary Margaret. As if you didn't send me a photo of Ben Barnes today being like, look at this man. Like, oh my gosh. Speaking of which, we're almost about to talk about our buddy read. So, ooh, but not quite. Okay, June of 2021. I started with a questionable choice. I listened to Rebel Bride by Elizabeth Moss. And this book was the sequel to a book called Wolf Bride. Let's just hold on. Prepare ourselves. Okay. So, they're historical romance books set in the court of Henry VIII. So my heart says yes, but then my ears say, oh, no. So I don't know why I keep doing it to myself. So the first book, Wolf Bride, I'm not going to talk about a lot, but I just want to say, like, the reason why I had enough hope to, like, try to continue the series, like, why it was still on my radar, because I didn't love the first book. Like, nothing was particularly like, whoa, amazing. But there was a scene where it's like their wedding night. And, you know, so they're supposed to consummate their marriage because that's how, like, history goes. And he, like, takes his knife and he, like, cuts himself. And he bleeds on the sheet. And then he's like, there. Now no one will, like, no one can assume I didn't touch you. Like, that's, you know, like your maidenhead on the bed. So it's, like, gross, but very noble. And I liked that. I liked that scene a lot. Like, I respected Wolf in that moment. That was his, like, nickname was Wolf. And then also, I always think about this scene because I remember having an Instagram story of me laughing about this. Yes, good for him. I loved it. Like, I love a thoughtful man. At one point, he almost... Why is this another theme tonight? First the aliens, now the loss of manhood. He almost had his business cut off. And I was like, wow, what an iconic romance conflict. Whoa. So for those two moments that just really live in my brain rent free, I was like, maybe I could try the second book. So the second book centers on the sister of the girl from the first book. So her name is Savannah. And yeah, I didn't like her and Q's relationship at all. I just didn't like them. Yeah, wowee is right. Like, I shouldn't have two books to talk about where men are just losing their junk, but I guess it's a thing. I gotta see. Okay, I gave it 2.6 stars. I said, imagine writing what is basically a retelling of The Taming of the Shrew, but then unironically being like, and then he calls her a slave and she loves it. There you have it. There you have it. Susanna is like this spirited young woman, and he's like trying to break her, and she's like, no. But then, like, sexually, it's the opposite. And I'm like, hey, don't do that. You know? Yeah. Also, I haven't talked about trigger warnings at all for any of these books, but in this one, multiple cases of attempted rape, not by the hero, thank God. I don't think. I know the majority of them weren't. Can't guarantee that one wasn't him because I didn't like him very much. So I'm suspicious. Yeah. So, book bad. I will not attempt the third book in the series, even though I want more historical romance books that aren't like Regency era. Like, God, we get it already. We get it. I read Pride and Prejudice. I get it. I really do. There's other time periods. Give me a medieval historical romance. I'm sorry, I'm dramatically reaching. Medieval Italy? Exactly. Like come on. There is so much world exists. So much time and so many places. And yet every historical romance is in Regency England or colonial America. I like colonial America. That's kind of a fun spot. Or Victorian England. And I'm like, enough already. There's more. But if you include some fantasy, you have my attention. Once there's fantasy, it's a whole other game. We're talking about something different. Okay, next, another novella where I go, do I remember any of it? No. But am I mad at it? No. I read Fireheart Tiger by Aliette de Bodard. I don't know. This was like a fantasy novella. I gave it a good rating. I gave it 4.2 stars. Interesting. Okay, barely remember it. I know it had a female romance. Shoot, I don't remember any of this plot. She had, like, the title is literal. There was something actually with fire. There was like she had a fire spirit, or she could control fire, or she turned into fire. There was some literal fire and women loving women. And that's all I remember. My Goodreads review says, for how short it was, I really enjoyed seeing the development of the characters, and I didn't feel confused or bogged down by world building. So, there you go. I don't know. That's a fine review. It didn't stick around in my mind, unlike the next book. It was fine. Next. In June, I reread for, who knows, the 100th time, A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. Ugh. It's a perfect play. It's a 5 out of 5 for me. Again, I reread it for Past It Classics, but I would reread it on my own. Actually, I annotated it for Mary Margaret. So, Mary Margaret, if you're still here, we're sending that soon. Merry Christmas. Kara, I need to send yours too, because I received your annotated book and I still haven't sent yours. What is wrong with me? Those are the only two I've annotated. But actually, cutely, most of the people who have been here are part of this project. So if you're watching this, then you're like a real one. And if you're not doing this annotation swap with me, we should change that. Yeah, A Midsummer Night's Dream is so good. Oh my God, you're so correct. Wait. Exactly. I'm a teacher. You get it. A Midsummer Night's Dream is not a perfect play, but it's perfect to me. You know what I'm saying? It's formative to me. I'm joking. I'm joking because I love it. Hold on. Plot-wise, so fun. I love plot lines that tie together. Helena is my light, my life. I would give one of my limbs to play Helena. That might be dramatic, but if I could give one of my limbs painlessly, I would do it to be Helena. That's me. It's so good. I have like a literal full Goodreads review for this play, like multiple paragraphs, because it's so good. Kara, you know I want this more than anything. We would be the ultimate Helena and Hermia. I'm tall. I'm tall and I yearn, and that's all you need to be Helena. Come on now. I don't know. A toe could be a limb. I think I could get by just fine without a toe. A Midsummer Night's Dream is perfect. Please read it. Please watch it. If you're my friend and I haven't linked you to the National Theater production, why am I like, oh, it's a secret. You should watch it. Oh my God, that'd be so cute. That'd be the cutest thing in the world, honestly. Yeah, then tell me and I'll send you the link because that is the production. It's so funny. It's so good. I love it. Okay, moving on to a book that I have forgotten entirely about. I listened to the audiobook of Beneath the Citadel by Destiny Soraya. My God, was this forgettable. This is a YA fantasy. I know I read it for Nana's book club. Helen, I got you. Expect a message from me when we're done with this. My Goodreads review doesn't even help me. Why is this happening to me? I gave it 3 stars and I said, do you think this book was sponsored by the word maelstrom? That's it. Now I'm choking because I hate it. Yeah, that book was very forgettable. I'm trying to read the synopsis, remembering anything about it. Casa, Alice, Evander, Newt. I remember these names. They were like trying to go into beneath the citadel, if you will, to get something or someone. There were prophecies. It was all fine. I think Evander was bisexual and Casa is ace. That's all I got. Okay, we're moving on. I don't know anything about this book. I didn't love it. Okay, then I read a nonfiction galley that was so cute. It's called How to Tell Stories to Children by Silka Rose West and Joseph Sorosi. I really enjoyed it. So cute. It literally is exactly what you think it's about. It's about how to tell stories to children, like how to make up stories and make them meaningful for children. And I really love that. I gave it 4.6 stars. I mean, some parts were a little repetitive, but overall it's super worthwhile. I have used some of these techniques and it's very cute. It's like, I mean, the most basic way I can describe it is like if you have a child who like you want to tell a story to, you just have to take like a meaningful object or like something they observed and then kind of expand on that. So if, you know, like my little buddy who I nanny over the summer, I just made up this whole story about Herman the worm because he's so obsessed with worms. And so I was like, okay, this is the story of Herman the worm. And made up a story. Helen, you should read it. It's really cute. It was also very short, so it's an easy read. Sorry, I genuinely feel like the cold I had a couple weeks ago like jacked me up because there's been some times where I've like inhaled and I've heard like a wheeze and I'm like, that's not normal for my body. We don't wheeze. So that's why I'm like this. Okay. Anyways, How to Tell Stories to Children. Very cute. I have how many more books to tell you about? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to call it a day. We've made it almost halfway through the year. Incredible. Okay. After that, I read Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. Woo-wee. Honestly, it was good. I gave it 4.6 stars. It was sad. There could have been more women. or there could have been a better focus on the women, I should say. But it was a good Shakespeare play. It was a good one, a banger. And it's a history play that isn't set in England, so I can actually differentiate it from all the other history plays. I do agree with myself in that my review says, the only major thing lacking was the women. We for real don't hear from Calpurnia after her husband is murdered. And yeah, exactly. Like, what? Like, we should hear from her again. Her husband was murdered. But other than that, pretty solid. Pretty solid. I enjoyed it. Okay, then I listened to, but now own, The Right Swipe by Alicia Rye. This was highly recommended by Taylor from Page Screen Taylor. And she was right to do so. So this is a romance about Rhiannon and Samson. And he is a former pro football player, which is not my scene. I'm not a sports person. However, that wasn't a pointed cough. That was just a genuine cough. He's cute and I like him and he's a good guy. He's a good egg. And then Rhiannon is like a dating app entrepreneur. I don't know what to call her. And so they meet because he's supposed to be like advertising for, is it the competing app? I don't know, but it's also like second chance because they like had a hookup. They were so cute. No miscommunication, good communication. And they were cute and I like them. Yeah. Cute. Love it. Going to continue the series. There's 3 books. Anyways, there she is. 2 more. Wildflower by Drew Barrymore. I'm not grabbing it because I can't reach it from here. It's Drew Barrymore's memoirs. Mary Margaret. I think you should read it. It's pretty cute. Pretty cute. I mean, it's not like super second chancey because it's like a second chance from a hookup and then he never got back to her, but he had a really valid reason for never getting back to her and she didn't know that, so like that's why it's cute. But it's not like a relationship that they're getting a second chance on. But in some ways I like that better because I feel like when a solid relationship breaks up, like it's going to take a lot of work for me to believe in their second chance, you know? I'm like, you guys hurt each other versus like a misunderstanding. Anyways, Wildflower is cute. I like Drew Barrymore. Honestly, reading her memoirs made me go like, I want to run through her IMDb page and just watch every Drew Barrymore movie because I enjoy and respect her. I don't know if you'd get anything out of Wildflower if you don't already like Drew Barrymore, just like vaguely. But if you do have a positive opinion towards Drew Barrymore, I suppose I would recommend it. What did I actually rate it? Probably like 3.5 stars. Yeah, she's just chill and cool. Exactly. Like she's been through it and now she's like, hey, I'm here. It's life. It's all good. Yeah, no, I gave it 4.3 stars. That's a great rating. And she made me tear up a few times, and I really liked how she wrote about her daughters. It was very sweet. So Drew Barrymore, Wildflower, good stuff. And then the last book that I read in June, Mary Margaret, I'm glad you're here for this, was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. Yeah, so cute, so iconic. Gave it 4.4 stars. We watched the movie afterwards, and it was a delight. Actually, spicy. My Goodreads review that I wrote says, you didn't hear it from me, but the movie improved this book in a few ways. Probably because it, like, had more of the girls. I don't even know what it did. I don't even know specifically what I meant when I said that. But, it's good. It's a cute book. It's iconic for a reason. I love it. Whoa. Kara, the only good movie adaptation in that series? Them's fighting words. Oh my God. Wait a second. Thank you. I am right, and I should say it. What do you mean? What do you mean? Wait. Kara, I need to know your thoughts. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I don't even know where to go with my thoughts at this point. Now I'm just confused. Listen, Prince Caspian has Ben Barnes. It has Ben Barnes. It's an improvement because it has Ben Barnes. And also the second book, we're getting into spoilers for the second time I do this live show. The second book is so slow and weirdly paced. And the movie was like, let's rock and roll. We want romance. We want Prince Caspian to actually interact with our main characters. Like, hello. Okay, to be fair, I haven't seen Voyage of the Dawn Treader since probably it was in theaters. So I'll let you know my opinion once I actually finish this reread and we rewatch it. I don't have strong feelings about that. I do have strong feelings about the Prince Caspian movie, and I'm just going to ignore the fact that you called it mediocre. Ben Barnes. Ben Barnes. And the Prince Caspian book does suck. It's very weird and bad. It, like, literally, Prince Caspian does not meet the Pevensies until, like, 80% through the book. That's wrong. That's wrong. And they should add romance, because it's Ben Barnes. No, listen, since you're all here, anyone who is here live with me right now, or who has watched 2 hours and 21 minutes in real time later to get to this point, is privy to this information because you're like an actual friend of mine. I showed Mary Margaret, like, I found a sketch that I made, like, of who knows how old I was, of like me in like a medieval dress as like Prince Caspian's sister, and a little speech bubble that said, "Hello, Peter," with a little heart. So, like, I love me throwing some romance into Narnia. I think we deserve it. Yeah. No, the book is not great, but the movie is good for what it is. Yeah. I just want to insert romance everywhere I can, really. You know what? Good for you. I really respect someone who's like, I was an Edmund girl, because it wasn't me, but I highly respect it. And I get it. He was very cute. Yeah, I'll leave it there. And we love some character growth. Oh, messages. Yes. Bella, I'm just liking all your messages. Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna look up my Letterboxd review. That's why I picked up my phone, because we just so recently rewatched Prince Caspian. That's what it's called. Oh my God. Stop. Are we the same person? Are we the same person? I did not do that, but I fully believe I would have. Also true. It's very cute of us to, like, not have to share our Narnia boyfriends. Kara. Ooh. I'm obsessed with this. I'm so glad I divulged this information, because I love what everyone is sharing right now. Exactly. Literally, I gave the movie 4.5 stars. I said, objectively, it actually stayed a lot truer to the book than I thought. Most of the costuming is fantastic. Really good fight choreography. Maybe the battle scenes were a little too long. Subjectively, this movie lives in my mind rent-free because it's iconic and perfect. So That's my feelings on Prince Caspian. We'll talk about the book later. Yeah, no, I love that. I love all of us in our youth just like imagining our Narnia boyfriends. Good for us. Good for us. Yeah, so next time I do this, I guess we'll review every book I read from July through December of 2021. I'm very proud of myself for making it this far, 2.5 hours in. Actually, I'm really proud of all of you guys who have actually hung out with me this long. Why did you do that? Thank you for doing that. And there are, so many good books. July, a great reading month. August, like every other was really great. September, questionable. But a few bangers. Oh my God, wait, whoa. No, September was everything. September was the high highs and the low lows. September was wild. I can't wait to talk about it. October, pretty good. November, barely read anything. December, we shall see, because I've only finished one book so far. No, two books. Thank you and thank you. Because here we are. Yeah, really looking forward to talking about the Camelot Rising series and Red Queen. And also, like, some of the worst books that I read in the year are coming up in September. Yes, September is Save Me the Waltz, and September is also the only other book that holds a candle to Trust Exercise for Worst Book of the Year. In fact, I think I rated it lower. So, thank you for joining me. I don't know why I'm still talking when I should just be saying goodbye, but what a journey it's been. I don't know how I'm going to make a thumbnail for this, but we'll figure it out. And thanks for joining me again, because yeah, really I could not be bothered to edit videos in the year of 2021. In the year of our Lord 2021, editing YouTube videos was not high on my priority list. So I'm just happy to talk about books in whatever context you'll allow me to. So thanks. And yeah, hearts back to all of you too. Okay, I'll say goodbye. Good night. Thank you again. And bye. And more hearts. Oh wait, I should do like my actual sign out. Like, what do I say at the end of YouTube videos? Thank you so much for watching, and you'll see more from me soon. Bye. That's what I say, I think. Bye.